It's considered a staple in the South, and it's definitely something that you can always find in the kitchen in the winter, the summer, the spring, or the fall. Cornbread, good old cornbread. And today, Chef Christopher Wolf from the Arizona Culinary Institute is here to share his secret recipe. Not so secret anymore. Good morning.
I guess the cat's going to be out of the bag after today.
Absolutely.
So
I saw the ingredients. I go, oh, you mean we're really making it from scratch?
from scratch. Good news is it's super simple.
Yeah.
In addition to all the culinary aspects of things we teach at school, we also do a good amount of baking. Students go through about 6 weeks of baking, so we figured come on the show and show a little bit of that as well.
I think that's a great idea.
Right. Again, summer, continuing our summer picnic themes. Let's talk a little bit about our cornbread. So, recipe couldn't be simpler. We got 5 dry ingredients. Take notes at home if you like. We have 2 cups of cornmeal, yellow, white, doesn't matter. 2 cups of all-purpose flour, 1 cup of sugar, 2 tablespoons of baking powder, 1 tablespoon of salt. That's all of our dry ingredients. All you need to do is take all of your dry, put them in a bowl.
I think that's actually a pretty good idea when you're kind of preparing to stick it all in there.
Yeah, well, if you believe it or not, I am chock full of pretty good ideas.
That's right.
All right, your next set of ingredients. We have 5 whole eggs, yolks, whites, the whole deal. We got 1.5 cups of vegetable oil.
Does this go in there too?
It certainly will. And then 2.5 cups of whatever kind of milk you prefer. You can use whole milk, or if you want to save a few calories, skim milk will work. Milk of any kind.
So skim's not going to skimp on the flavor, huh?
It will not. It will not.
That's good to know.
So then what you got to do is vigorously combine your wet ingredients.
While you're doing that, let me ask you, you know when you mix all your dry ingredients, say we wanted to kind of prepare a batch for later, could we just store all of our dry ingredients in a Ziploc and just pull it out already ready to go?
Absolutely.
Okay.
That's a great idea. It's fantastic.
I'm full of great tips too.
Wow, who would have thought? So, we get our dry ingredients combined, we got our wet ingredients combined, and we combine the two together. Now, a lot of people would tell you, and if you're into this kind of thing, that the only way to really mix cornbread is to get in there with your hands and actually mix it all together. We're not going to do that today, though. Some people think that if you mix by mechanical power or using a whisk, you might overdevelop the flour and it might get a little tough. I'm not buying it.
No?
Okay, so if you're into the messy aspect and you want to get in there and get dirty, it's fun for the kids.
Or that just might be good old Southern tradition.
Certainly could be. But if not, all you need is a little bit of a whisk. Combine it till it's pretty smooth. If you see a few lumps in there, that's okay. Just don't overmix it. Okay? When you get your batter all mixed up, you want to go into whatever pan size you like. I like to bake the cute little loaves. I think they bake quicker. I think they look nicer and they make great gifts and they're easy to hand out at picnics. You're going to want to spray your cooking pan with more non-stick spray than you think you'll need. Like when you think you have enough, put a little bit more in.
Why is that?
This cornbread, for some reason, this recipe, I've always had the worst luck with it sticking to the pan, and it's frustrating. You go through all the processes.
Oh, I love that you have the same problems we do in the kitchen.
Absolutely. See, even though we are chef instructors, we still make mistakes from time to time. So, you're going to want to fill your guys up here. You can use a 9x13 pan, whatever you want to use. But make sure you don't fill it all the way up because this has baking powder in it. It will rise and it will bubble all over the place if you fill yourself too full here.
You mentioned 6 weeks of baking over at the Arizona Culinary. Is that kind of a comprehensive type of, you're learning baking, you're learning gourmet, you're learning, or is that just if you're kind of specializing in?
No, all of our students go through 6 weeks of baking. They do 3 weeks of basic baking, which is your breads and cookies and things like that, and then 3 weeks of advanced pastries, where you learn things like sugar pieces and more advanced icings and things like that. So, you got your bread all set to go. You go into a preheated 350-degree oven, and then depending on the size of your pan, it's going to go for about 25 to 45 minutes. You want to check on that, rotate it periodically. Through the magic of television, however, we have some pre-made cornbread here. This is what your result will look like.
Slice a little bit of that.
I certainly will. And what I've brought here, a couple garnishing suggestions, just to kind of, again, we always want to give you new ideas, ways to spice up your life and your food life a little bit.
I'm interested to find out what that is.
Well, I brought a higher fat and a lower fat option. Our high fat option is I did a little bit of honey butter. Right there. Honey butter, fantastic combination with cornbread. All I did was take some butter, get it to room temperature, mix a little bit of honey in there in my mixer, add a little bit of salt, you got your honey butter. The lower fat option, this is a caramelized onion marmalade. All you do is you take onions, slice them thin, put them in a pot, cook them till they get that nice caramel color, add a little bit of salt, pepper, and a little bit of white wine vinegar, puree it. You got a nice sweet and sour onion marmalade.
I'm going to try that only because, not because it's low fat, because I've never tried it before.
Well, I love it with cornbread. Caramelized onions and cornbread, a little bit of the sweet and sour.
Sweet.
Fantastic combination.
It's certainly not like a butter, but
No.
Yeah, that's delicious.
And if you're feeling really sinful, a little bit of both probably wouldn't hurt either.
Exactly.
Fantastic.
That's the way I like it. Thank you so much for coming in.
My pleasure, as always.
Appreciate the recipes, and of course we're going to have those available on our website, SonoranLiving.com. The Arizona Culinary Institute is over on 116th Street in Shea. That's in Scottsdale. Their phone number is 480-603-1066. And the Arizona Culinary Institute is a sponsor of Sonoran Living Live.